1, 2, 3, 4. If you can do all your stuff, what can figure it out? That's how it chooses you.
Welcome to It Chooses You, Smidgen edition, Smidge-a-dish.
Smidge-a-dish, that's right. We wanted to have a place to talk about little fun things that don't require a lot of preparation. And this is where we do that.
I am Claire Patton.
I am Teresa Sparks.
And we are a podcast.
We are a podcast. Today, I want to talk about, so I'm calling them snack plates.
Great.
I want to talk about snack plates. And half of it is cheese and charcuterie and other stuff like you would maybe expect. Mm-hmm. And then half of it is the things I buy at the gas station when I'm high.
Right. I love it. So we'll just tell our listeners, in case they didn't hear the episode in which we had this idea, mm-hmm. that you are, my friend, an excellent snack plate assembler.
Thank you.
I believe that your snack plates will go down in history as some of the best snack plates available in Boulder County, Colorado.
Thank you. I appreciate the praise. I've worked very hard on my snack plate skill. Like my skill meter for snack plate is at 10. Yeah. And none of my others are.
Yeah. I just want to, really establish your place in the pantheon of charcuterie and snack plate.
Yeah.
Because, that people need to listen to you.
That's right. I'm an expert and an authority. Mm-hmm. And you don't need to listen to anyone else ever who talks about it. I am all you need.
That's right.
Okay.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, America. So my favorite meal is a snack plate. Mm. Because I would always rather eat 3 bites of 10 things than 30 bites of one thing. The variety of flavor, texture, color, very pleasing to me, and then important to me after pleasing, right? Mm. I feel like as I get older, the things I like are become more important because maybe I'm alone in this, but as we age, it just seems to be less pleasure and more responsibility. So I'm finding my pleasure where I can, and we have to eat a couple times a day. So it's a great place. Yeah. And snack plates have been on my mind since the vaccine came along because we've talked about it a little bit. Like I'm definitely making my plans for when the war is over,
Right.
Like what I'm going to do as soon as the war is over, I'm going to... and part of what I'm going to do is have a games night and insist that my friends host me at games nights at their houses, and snack plates are an important part of that.
Well, I will eagerly await my invitation.
Oh yes, at the first available opportunity, you and Tim are going to come for sure.
I mean, let's just face it. If you have a decent snack plate and good company, that's really all you need.
It is. I mean, and not only is it such a key element that it's all you need for a good night, it's also shockingly easy to do because you're not actually making anything. You're purchasing already made things, maybe cutting them, and then assembling them. So it's so easy.
As we've said previously, you're curating.
That's exactly right. I have curated this delicious plate of food for you. I mean, it's why potluck parties and planned family meals make me so happy. The variety. That's one of the things we didn't talk about in a Thanksgiving episode, but being able to go in and have 2 bites of yam with the marshmallow topping and a little bit of salad and, a little chicken leg or whatever and have just 15 different things on a plate. Oh, amazing. Yeah.
It's also how a lot of Indian gatherings work is that many families will cook for a couple of days and you just have this smorgasbord of different colors and textures, as you said, and flavors. And I just think that nothing makes you feel more rich,
Yeah. I mean, the first time I had a meal from a snack plate, I was like, this is it. This is how people should eat. This is, just world changing for me. So in the best of all possible worlds, a snack plate is a balance of fatty, briny, sour, sweet, and umami.
Perfect.
That's what you're looking for. With lots and lots of different textures, and I like it to be visually pleasing. So you can fall into a rut where you're only doing cheese and crackers, and cheese and crackers are delicious, but that's all beige food. We really need a variety of color in there. I will always include a fatty cured meat. a pickle, a fruit, a cheese, a nut, and a cracker.
Yep.
That's it. And within those categories, like I approach it like permaculture. You know, you design from patterns to details. And the cured meat, pickle, fruit, cheese, nut, and cracker is the pattern, right? And then the details vary based on season and budget and temperament and party style and all of that, right? Yeah, so if I've got a little bit more money to spend, I will first increase the quality of that basic layer of items before I start adding new ones.
That's good advice.
Yeah, because it's very important for me with the snack plate. That's where I've put all of my quality over quantity energy. I don't have a lot of it. I am often a quantity first kind of gal, but not when it comes to the snack plate.
Don't skimp.
Don't skimp. And if you have to, of course you can. It can be simpler. You can make a good snack plate with 3 items if they're the right 3 items, you know? But really sort of 5 or 6, I think, is kind of the minimum number I want to see, just because the goal of a snack plate is that it provides materials to create several different kinds of flavor combos in the same plate, right? So a soft French cheese rolled in prosciutto with a cornichon, a fruit and nut cracker with a crumbly blue cheese on it, and a raspberry.
Yeah, the making of the cracker or the open face sandwich, the bread with the crostini or whatever with the toppings on is really fun.
Yes.
Because you're actually having 12 different items depending on how you combine them. I don't know what the actual number of combinations would be.
Yeah, no, quick, do that math. If you don't do that math, I'm not going to keep talking to you.
Teresa, how many times do I have to tell you I am not a statistician?
I
don't even know if that's it.
I think it might just be mathematician, but I'm not sure. That's how not that we are. Don't even know what it's called. I debated whether or not to give you a list of my favorite foods, but that seemed like it would be super boring. And we all have different tastes. And so rather than go down a list of things, I've listed my standards in when I said the 2 different flavor combos that you could make out of a reasonably cost-effective plate. So I'm not going to list my favorite foods, but I will say, as you did, part of the joy of the snack plate is that every time you approach it, you get the chance to make something new.
It's a veritable artist's palette.
Yeah. No, well, and that's a great way of talking about it, because like an artist's palette, the raw materials are the same, right? But if you look around the room, everyone will have made slightly different combinations of things, right? And that's why it's so fun. It's also fun because you make it with your hands, right? So we don't often get to touch our food. We serve, especially in a pandemic year, we hope that no one is touching our food ever. Yeah. It would be great if robots could pull it out of the ground, process it, cook it, and serve it to us.
That's right.
But part of the joy of a snack plate is that it's tactile as well. And dinner for me at least, if it's a quote normal dinner, is not tactile.
I just hadn't thought of that. That's a really good point.
Yeah. I also think there's something biologically determinist about it in a way, because we are omnivores and we wouldn't have had 15 pounds of raspberries at a time if we were hunting and gathering. And so a handful of raspberries is sort of maybe an anthropological / biological standard number of raspberries a human would have typically had at a time,
That's a good point. And they do say that, I think it's something like after the 5th bite of a meal, you stop tasting that same flavor combination, which I always try and tell myself as I'm eating pasta, but it never works. No, seriously, you've had 5 bites. You don't need 300 more. You don't have to finish the whole bowl.
Stop eating.
So I would think if you're having those different flavor combinations, that 5 bites sort of extends beyond.
Yeah, you get a reset. Always. Right, and so there's something, I told you that I had a biological response the first time I walked into a Costco, right? Being around bounty like that, I was like, whoa. I mean, my entire nervous system relaxed. I left Costco high.
Yeah.
Having only purchased some lemon juice and a couple of heads of romaine lettuce or something. But just having access to all that, I was like, oh. I have the same response to the snack plate. Yeah. I look at it and I am biologically satisfied somehow.
Yeah. And that's real. That is real, people.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. And my love for the snack plate has enabled me to take that way of looking at food and try and move it into like normal dinner.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So that if I'm in normal dinner and it's like, okay, well, I know that I don't particularly enjoy eating a giant bowl of pasta. I do it all the time, but I don't love it.
Right.
Having a food experience that I love and that is biologically satisfying like that, and that I know intellectually is good for me and makes me feel good, is sort of a thing that I can cultivate in that area and hopefully spread to the rest of my food choices.
I tend to rely on the one pot meals a lot, but every time I do take the time to have like a salad or a vegetable and something carby and a meat, I enjoy those meals a lot more.
Yeah.
That is fact.
That is fact. And really, I know it's short, but that's really it. It's
I think that's
just a little poem for snack plates.
An homage to the snack plate.
Yeah, exactly. It's really good. I think it's one of those things, and this is so pretentious, but I'm going to say it anyway. It's one of those, creating the perfect snack plate is a thing that can become a meditation, right? Because as you're going to the store, you're like, I know the things I like. I know the things I'm in the mood for. When I go to the grocery store, I will see what the earth is able to provide from the list I have in my head, right? And I'm not going to buy raspberries in January because that's insane. Like, why would you? Yeah. She says, having purchased raspberries recently. Let me just say, I'm not necessarily going to buy raspberries in January,
Right. Well, what you're making me realize is that that's really the approach I take to both salads and sandwiches, looking for that balance of different textures and flavors. And I think that's why, to be honest, I make such a rockin' salad and a rockin' sandwich, because you have that option for variety. It's like a snack plate by another name. Yeah. The other thing about a snack plate is that, having recently watched Bridgerton, I realized this about the snack plate, which is that it is possible to create bites from a snack plate. And that's the thing. Snack plates are about bites. They're not about portions. It's literally like, what can you fit in a single bite? That's ideal. And so it's great party food if the parties you're throwing involve single people who are trying to hook up. Because you're not going to eat a sandwich in front of somebody you've just met who's sexy, who maybe doesn't want to watch you. You don't feel like eating a sandwich in front of them, That's a good point.
Because at least for me, I always get my hair in the sandwich, and it's just a messy, horrible thing. And I don't want to do that in front of somebody I'm interested in taking home,
So basically what you're saying is that a snack plate might get you laid.
Yes, and we can leave it there. Have a great week, you guys.
Everybody, let's go home, make snack plates, and dream of better days ahead.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Testing? Great. Thank you for listening to It Chooses You. Your hosts are Teresa Sparks and Claire Patton. Our theme song is by Bobby Dart. If you'd like to get in touch with us, drop us an email at itchoosesyoupodcast@gmail.com.